Welcome to Inspiring People, the show about inspiring people, those who are inspired and those who inspire others. We all know them. They're good examples, they're supportive, they embrace life, they live inspiring lives in their day-to-day actions, and in turn, inspire others to do the same. Hi, welcome to Inspiring People. My name is Mary Otto, and with me today is my guest, Janell Girodat. Welcome to the show, Janell.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's nice to have you here. Janell's going to be a very special guest for us today. She has quite a story to tell, and we're glad that she's here and willing. She left her job for a while today so she could come in and do this interview. So thanks so much, Janell, for being here. Let's start by having you mention your full name.
Janell Girodat.
Okay, and Janell, where do you live right now?
I live in Kindred, North Dakota, which is about 27 miles south of Fargo.
Okay, and you live in Kindred, but you work in Detroit Lakes, right?
Yep.
So am I assuming that you drive every day from Kindred to Detroit Lakes and back?
Yep, it's a 144-mile round trip.
Okay,
for me,
you do that every day,
yep.
Huh?
Rain or snow.
Rain or snow.
I just don't like the ice.
Okay, okay. So. And you've decided to do that because your family is in Kindred, or?
Right.
Okay.
In 2004, we moved to Kindred, and because I got a job in Detroit Lakes, but I was still doing treatment at Roger Maris, and that was about the halfway point for my husband, because he drives 106 miles round trip every day to work. So.
And you told me in the pre-interview, didn't you, that the gas companies love you?
Oh, yes, they absolutely love us. Right now, we're kind of liking it because it's been a lot cheaper to fill up.
Cheaper. Well, one of the reason that Janell is with us today is because there were a number of people who mentioned, oh, I know who you should have on your show, Mary Otto. You should have Janell Girodat on your show. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what brings Janell to this show and have her tell you a little bit about her life. So why don't we begin this part of it by asking you what you do?
I am a high school counselor in Detroit Lakes, 9 through 12. Prior to coming to Detroit Lakes, I was in Milner, North Dakota, and I was there for 6 years as their K through 12 counselor. And I just kind of fell into this position. I applied for a 4th grade job in North Sargent, which is in Gwinner, North Dakota. Was called back and said, oh, sorry, you didn't get the job. And they just said, but we'd like to know if you'd like to interview for the counseling position. Never thought about doing it. I said, sure, okay, job's a job, needed a job. Right. Took it, and then I went back, got my master's degree at NDSU. And I don't think I would ever do anything different now.
Well, and I hear from the teachers really admire and respect you for the work you do with the kids. So do the administrators, and that we know for a fact that the kids really, the students over there really love you as well. So you're working at the high school, and you've been there now a number of years. And then just recently, well, I'd say a couple years ago, that you were diagnosed with cancer. Is that correct?
I was diagnosed actually 7 years ago.
7 years ago, okay.
When I was 33 years old. Just had a sore arm. Thought it was from shooting baskets with my daughter and her friends. At the time, she was 11, and she is 17 now. So I waited till the end of the school year. This was in January, and I went to the doctor in May and ended up being sent to Fargo because he felt a lump in my breast and said, oh, I think you better go to Fargo, just get it checked out. Went to Fargo. They told me, nope, it doesn't feel cancerous, doesn't look cancerous on the x-ray or the mammogram. Let's just watch it for 6 months, and you can come back and we'll check it again. And at that time, my mom was diagnosed 6 months prior with lung cancer, and they only gave her 6 months to a year to live, and she was 52, I think it was. Oh. And so that scared me, and I said, no, I think I just want a biopsy, and the worst can happen is it's cancer, so the best thing that can happen is I have a little cut and it turns out to be okay. Well, on the 6th of June, I had biopsy, and then on the 8th of June, I got home about 12:20 in the afternoon, and the phone rang, and it was my surgeon, and he said, I'm sorry to tell you, you have well-differentiated ductal carcinoma, which is a non-aggressive estrogen-fed cancer. And I was like, whoa, started crying. Well, my kids thought my mom had passed away. And at the time, my youngest was 4, and my daughter was 11, and then my son was going to be 13, my oldest. So I had to gather them up and say, you know, guys, Mom has cancer, and it'll be okay. We just need to figure out what we want to do. And since then, June 8th of '01, it's come back 4 times. Now this is the 4th time it's come back, and that was December of last year that I was re-diagnosed for the 4th time. And now it's in my lungs and in my liver. So.
Okay. And you found this, again, the way that you found out that you had the cancer was that you'd gone to the doctor. Did you have something just kind of instinctively telling you that should go in, or it was for physical?
It's just my arm just was sore, and it wasn't getting any better from January all the way to May. And I thought, you know, did I pull a muscle? What's going on? Or is there infection in there and I'm just not seeing it? And then it turned out to be that. And when I met with the oncologist for the first time, he said, if you'd have waited 6 months, you probably would not be here. So I guess I could credit my mom for being diagnosed, because I don't know as I would have pursued it then. Because at the age of 33, you don't think about, you know, doing that, because boy, that is pretty young. And it's just a different kind of cancer that people who smoke, who don't have children at a young age, all those factors factor into this type of cancer, and those are the types of women that tend to get that cancer. Well, I had kids by the time I was 28. I had all 3 of my kids. I don't smoke, I don't drink, so I didn't fit the mold. So
you
I just
weren't
was lucky.
You weren't even suspicious that that might be the reason.
No.
Okay. So how did you handle it with your family, your children? You said you told them, and then I wonder, how did life start to change for you from that point on?
Being as my kids were so young, the only thing I was worried about was, if I'm sick, I know I'm going to have chemotherapy and surgery, and you know, my kids are pretty young. My husband's a farmer. He's not always around because of Mother Nature, and all I could think of was, oh, how am I going to handle this? Who's going to take care of my kids? Because my family did not live even close to where we lived at the time. And I just decided that we just got to buck up, pull our bootstraps up, and move forward. And I think just having a positive attitude and knowing what you need to do and what needs to get done, it just helps.
So you basically thought you had 2 choices, right?
Yeah.
One would be to
pout about it and say, oh, why me? Why did this happen to me? Or I could say, okay, I have it. I can't make it go away unless I do treatment. So let's do that, because I want to see my kids graduate from high school, get married, you know, grow up. And at the age of 33, you never think you have to worry about that. So that's another big reason. My kids are amazing kids, just amazing.
Well, they have an amazing mom.
Well, I figured if I want them,
genetic.
well, if I want them to act with morals and values and be good people and treat people well, then I figured I need to do that too. So,
and this attitude, that Janell has seems to be pervading not only her family and people who know her very well, but also those people who work at the high school and in the school district in Detroit Lakes. And in the second part of the show, we'll talk about that and the effect that Janell has had and the inspiration that she's been and continues to be for many people in the community.